The Washington Wizards lose to the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta, 129-117 for their seventh straight loss. Come on now, let's talk about it. Next on Locked On Wizards.
You are Locked On Wizards, your daily Washington Wizards podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Brandon Scott again. Your favorite podcast now has a newsletter. Introducing the Locked On Wizards Daily Newsletter, a one-stop shop for the ultimate team and league coverage delivered right to your inbox. Sign for free now at LockedOnDaily.com. That's LockedOnDaily.com. And start your day with the all-new free Locked On Wizards newsletter. Tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you can start with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com to get started. All right, everybody, today we're going to recap last night's game versus the Atlanta Hawks, and then we're going to do a preview for tomorrow night's game versus the Detroit Pistons, man. So, like I said, appreciate you guys. I put the poll out. You guys voted. Kind of wish I would have covered the Wizards. Not a good fight, man. Anybody who watched the Tyson and the Tyson fight, man, it was the first two bouts were really good bouts, man. But I didn't even catch the third one, and yeah, Netflix needs to do better. That's all I'm going to say. So, like I said, I kind of regret not doing the recap, man, because it was an abysmal fight, man. Tyson had no business being in that ring, and it's kind of sad, man, because I'm a big Tyson guy, but it is what it is. But again, guys, appreciate you guys rocking with you on Saturday, man. We're going to recap tonight's game. So, Washington Wizards lose to the Atlanta Hawks in Atlanta, 129-117 for their seventh straight loss. So, all right, we're going to take a look at the good, the bad, and the ugly from last night's loss. Let's get into the starting five real quick. Now, let's start with Alex Sarr. Alex Sarr. Last night, Alex Sarr, 31 minutes played, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 7 for 13 for the field, 3 for 4 from 3, 3 for 4 for the charity strike, 4 steals, 3 blocks. I mean, he did it all. Only 2 turnovers. This is the type of performance you want to see from Alex Sarr. This is the potential we see. I mean, 3 for 4 from 3. You know, there was times where a lot of us thought that, look, he's a little too reliant on that shot, but they give him the open looks for a reason, and you got to knock those down, and he did that. And shooting 3 for 4 from 3 again, and 7 for 13 overall from the field. So he was efficient. 7 rebounds. I definitely love seeing him get in there and get those boards, and 20 points. So we're heading in the right direction. You know, I mean, we often talk about Keyshawn George, you know, Bub Carrington, and for the right reason, right? And Bilal Coulibaly, aka Be Cool. But Alex Sarr, you see the potential. You see how good he can really be. So good contributor, man. You know, we lost, but this is definitely the type of performance you want to see from Alex Sarr. All right, looking at JP. 13, that is. 20 minutes, 22 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, shooting an efficient 6 for 14 for the field, 4 for 9 from 3, 6 for 7 from the charity strike, and he got 2 steals. So, again, JP being JP, man. He was efficient, 6 for 14, especially 4 for 9 from 3, 5 assists, and 5 rebounds. So, you know, a lot of us are questioning, you know, was it a good decision to play him at the 2 guard and let Bub Carrington run point? And that might be a good decision because if you look at Bub Carrington's numbers, I mean, yes, 7 points, only shooting 3 for 8 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3, missed both free throws, 1 steal, but you see the floor general potential with him. 9 assists. Come on now, 9 assists, 5 rebounds. So he contributes. You know, he's productive when you put him on the floor. So they're a really nice backcourt, in my opinion. You know, Bub Carrington is starting to ramp it up. He's not there where we want him to be as far as scoring the rock, but his assist numbers continue to really impress me. Be Cool, 38 minutes, 9 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 assists, shooting 4 for 11 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3, and 1 for 2 from the charity strike, and 2 steals. So, again, we're going to get into the many reasons why his usage has gone down a little bit, and you don't see that same offensive output, right? His name is up next. Let's go ahead and talk about Kyle Kuzma. Tonight, or last night, that is, 29 minutes played, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 1 assist. So, before I get into the inefficiency, 24 points, we definitely need him to be that 20 points a night scorer. 9 rebounds. Look, Kuzma's always done a really good job getting in there and get rebounds. But let's get to the elephant in the room. He shot 11 for 28, including 2 for 11 from 3. Look, man, I'm not going to beat a dead horse. I'm not going to sit here and go all in on Kyle Kuzma. I'm not going to do all that. We know what kind of player he is. You know, we know we can pencil him in for 20 points plus a night. But it comes at a heavy price. And when you shoot the ball 28 times, and look, he made the comment that he was talking to Varun Shankar, Washington Post, and he said, look, I was only a couple layups away from shooting 50%. I don't even really know what to say to that. I mean, if you look at the numbers, 11 for 28 is abysmal. It's inefficient. I mean, if you look at the second most shots on the team, it was Jordan Poole at 14. That was half the attempts that Kyle Kuzma shot. I mean, I don't even know what to say. I mean, I'm past all that, man. Like, I don't even know what to say anymore because he is obviously inefficient. The team's obviously better when he's down on the floor. You know, when you saw the lineup with Keyshawn George in there, Bilal Coulibaly, Bob Carrington, Alex Sarr, and Jordan Poole, you saw a really good team. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win much games as far as, you know, making that stretch run in the playoffs, none, but let's be real. They were highly productive. With Kyle Kuzma in the lineup, man, the inefficiency is hurting this team. The inefficiency is hurting the progress and the development of the young guys. And it is what it is. It is what it is. That's exactly what it's doing. You cannot shoot the ball 28 times. I mean, I get the philosophy that you keep shooting, but good Lord, man. I mean, at what point do you kind of curb that? I mean, 9 rebounds, I give him his flowers. You know, he was very active in the paint, but 11 for 28. I don't care if you're 2-3 layups away from 50%. You know, Michael Jordan never said he was satisfied with shooting 50%. I think he's inefficient. And I'm not going to sit here and get all worked up. I'm just going to call it like it is. He's inefficient, and this team is better without him on the court. I mean, look, give him his flowers for what he's done in D.C., but it's time to roll. I mean, look, the priority here in D.C. is development of young talent. It's not to help everybody feel warm and fuzzy inside because they want to be here. I mean, we have to develop this young talent. Enough's enough. We have to develop this young talent because if not, what are we doing? I mean, it's time for him to go. Jordan Poole put in the work this offseason. He put the work in. He became a better player. He became a more efficient player. He became a leader. We don't see those same traits with Kyle Kuzma, man. And like I said, I can sit here and I can go blah, blah, blah about how much he's done in D.C. That's all good and well. But here's the thing you got to produce. This is not a charity. We're not here for players to feel all good about themselves and want to be here and all that, man. This is a rebuild. This is a rebuild. We went through the whole Bradley Beal era where we were sitting there trying to make him feel good. And what happened? We were an A seed at best. Look, if you want to build this team into a championship contender, enough of the nonsense. This young squad has shown they're ready to step up. Bilal Coulibaly, when Kyle Kuzma was not in the lineup, is a better offensive weapon. We saw him breaking out. Now he can't get touches. I mean, look at the touches. 28 attempts. After that, it's 14 by Poole. After that's 13 by Sarr. After that's 11 by Bilal Coulibaly. And then you got 13 by Kispert and 12 by Keyshawn George. Now, for kicks and giggles, man, let's go ahead and just take away 8 of those attempts and give them to Bilal Coulibaly. What do you think Bilal could do with 19 attempts? I think he has a better night than 9 points. I mean, it's just, and that's where I'm at, guys. Like, enough's enough. Like, he's inefficient. He's not his play style, and is not helping these guys get better. And it doesn't look like he's buying into the system. Look, head coach Brian Keefe is the head coach for this rebuild. You have to evolve to his system. That's how these young guys get better. This whole thing about, and that's where I'm at, guys. I'm just going to end it there, man, because it's inefficient basketball. The young guys are not getting better. And if we're not in the market for these young guys to get better, then what are we doing? What are we doing? We should have stuck it out with KP, Kuz, and Bradley Beal and just watch Bradley Beal bounce the ball off his foot. Kyle Kuzma shoot the ball 30 times a night. And KP did his thing. But he's always hurt. So I guess that's one knock. But like I said, we're in the business to rebuild. Let's rebuild. Let's put these young guys out there into the fire. We saw what they can do. Keyshawn George is a weapon. Bob Carrington is a dog. Alex Sarr's got potential through the roof. Bilal Coulibaly, if you give him the minutes and the touches, he's going to break out. But you got to give him more of the offensive load. So I'm going to go ahead and end it there, man. Like I said, it is what it is on that, guys. He's inefficient, and this team's not getting better. It is what it is. We cannot continue to allow him to shoot the ball 28 to 30 times a night. That is not a recipe for success. I mean, this is not making anybody else better. All right, let's get into the second unit. Corey Kispert, really good game. 16 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, shooting 6 for 13 for the field, and an efficient 4 from 8 from 3, 1 steal. So Corey Kispert is starting to ramp it up and play like the Corey Kispert that we know he can be. All right, Keyshawn George, 13 points tonight, 5 rebounds, 4 assists, shooting 4 for 12 from the field, and 1 for 6 from 3. Like I said, Keyshawn George continues to be a really nice 1-2 punch off the second unit. And I totally forgot, guys, I didn't put the stats up. So I know some of you guys definitely want me to put the stats up. So again, I have my days, man. So like I said, starting tomorrow, I'm going to start doing that again. But that is my apologies. But and other people look at Jonathan Valanciunas night or last night. It's only 16 minutes, but 6 points, 5 rebounds, shooting 2 for 5 from the field, 2 for 2 from the charity strike, and 2 turnovers. And Johnny Davis, I guess he kind of played 6 minutes, 2 rebounds, over 2 from the field, 1 steal, 1 block. So defensively, he's a dog. Offensively, he's up and down. We don't know what you're going to get from him any given night. It is what it is on that front. So, guys, again, the Washington Wizards do lose to the Atlanta Hawks in the ATL 129 to 117 for their 7th straight loss. So we're going to get into a preview for tomorrow night's game at Cap One versus the Detroit Pistons. But before we do, tonight's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live, play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Just visit FanDuel.com to join the day. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. All right, everybody, let's get back into this thing and get into tomorrow night's preview for the Detroit Pistons and Cap One. All right, guys, so time is 6 o'clock, so we will be going live after the game. There's no more bad fights to watch, so I mean, we're gonna be right back into it. Live recap, probably around 8:30. So definitely tune in for that. Now, for you bettors out there, the Detroit Pistons are negative 4.5 favorites, man. So some numbers looking at team leaders. Leading in points for the Pistons is Kate Cunningham with 23.8 points per game. For the Wizards is 22.2 by Jordan Poole. Looking at rebounds, Jaren Duran, he continues to play really good ball at center for the Pistons, averaging around 9.7 rebounds a game, including 3.3 offensive rebounds. And Jonas Valanciunas leads all Wizards with 7.5 rebounds, including 2.5 offensive rebounds. And looking at the assist numbers for both teams, Kate Cunningham leads the Pistons with 8.5 assists per game, but 5 turnovers. So that's definitely one number to kind of look at. Bob Carrington, 5.5 assists, but only 1.8 turnover per game. So let's take a look at the injury report real quick for the Washington Wizards. Is the obvious. Sadiq Bey is out prior to the end of the season. He may play a quarter of the season, but I would go ahead and sit him for the year for him to get 100%. And Malcolm Brogdon, he was actually game to game, man, and now he's back to. They don't have a timetable for his return, so questions are, man, at what point are we going to see Malcolm Brogdon? And as a guy who we look to flip at some point, what is truly his value? That is the question tonight. How much does his value continue to take a hit? I'm gonna say yes. All right, some other numbers to look at how we can attack the Detroit Pistons. Now, points against, they are allowing 111 points per game. They are 12th in the NBA as opposed to 123 points per game by the Washington Wizards. So they are a tough defensive team, especially in the paint. Jalen Duran continues to play lockdown basketball in the paint. He's a guy that I'd liked in the draft. Some other stats to look at real quick, looking at the assist numbers. They're actually 21st in assists. And if you look at the fact that we are 14th, averaging 25.7 assists per game, and if you add in the fact that turnovers, I mean, Kate Cunningham averages 5 turnovers a game. And if you look at the Pistons overall, they are 29th in the NBA as opposed to our 19th, where they're averaging 16.3 turnovers a game. So that means they've got issues with ball movement, man. Like I said, I think this is a team that if you play some fluid defense, if you close out on shooters, if you accomplish every aspect of defense, whether it's perimeter defense, paint defense, transitional defense, close out the shooters, definitely, switch outs, definitely making smooth transitions, man, we can definitely win this game. Now, we're underdog. I mean, you look at them right now, they're 6-8, 7th in the East. We are currently 2-9, 13th in the East. And I think that you're going to see some teams kind of climb and fall. The 76ers, a lot of people are out injured. Embiid's back. Paul George is back. We'll see how they do with Tyrese Maxey. I think the Philadelphia 76ers are definitely better what the record indicates. But the Washington Wizards, I think we're right around where we're at. But it's all good, guys, because this is a rebuild. So, like I said, my 3 keys of development real quick. Points against. This is a team that plays hard-nosed defense, man. So ball movement has to be key. Ball movement. We have to shoot high percentage shots. We cannot allow one player to shoot 28 times. That is what it is. That is a recipe for disaster. You lose that game every time. And I mean, we probably have one games with him shooting, chucking it up 28 times a game. But, that's just a recipe for failure. We have to be more efficient. We have to learn to pass the ball around. It cannot be a black hole with Kyle Kuzma. Like I said, can't use that excuse with Jordan Poole. He is a lot more efficient player this season. Kyle Kuzma is the one guy where, yes, he scored 24 points, but it took 28 shot attempts to get there. I mean, so like I said, we've got to do better than that. Like I said, Kuz, please, you've got to find ways to get these guys going, man. You've got to change your game. I mean, we got to change this thing because the priority is developing this young talent. That's first, second, and third priority, in my opinion. So, key to development number 2, rebounds. They're number 5 in the NBA as opposed to us being 24th. They are averaging 46.5 rebounds per game. We got to win the battle of the rebounds. I mean, the one matchup I'm looking at is Alex R versus Durant. Durant is more of a traditional big. He's not a guy who really stretches for too much. So maybe you see a scenario where you try to bring Durant out of the paint and maybe use backdoor cuts to attack the Detroit Pistons. That's what I would do. I think that's definitely what they should do. And key to development number 3, again, win the paint. Not just battle the rebounds, but win the paint. We are third in the NBA in blocks at 6.5 per game. The Detroit Pistons are 8th with 5.7. So it's definitely going to be the matchup I'm looking at is going to be our centers versus theirs. Alex R versus Durant. Definitely want to see Jonas Valanciunas really get into the paint and get nasty, man. So like I said, those are my 3 keys to development. So let's get into comments tonight, guys. And again, guys, definitely appreciate everybody showing up on a Saturday. I know it's Saturday, man, so it definitely is all love, man. I appreciate you guys taking the time out of your Saturday night to roll with your boy tonight, man. So let's start this thing off. Anti-social extrovert says, happy Saturday. Yes, sir. What has happened to Be Cool's offense? Seemed like we got a glimpse. The pressure became too much, question mark. Also, when JP had a hot hand, why did Coos force up shots? That is a question that I think we all want to know. Obviously, you roll with the hot hand. And look, this is JP's team, man. I mean, he's got to revert back a little bit. I mean, yeah, there was one point where we looked at Kyle Kuzma as being a number 1 option, but it always comes at the expense of efficiency, man. And like I said, you have to find ways to get these young guys involved. Bilal Koulibaly is ready to break out. We saw that. And you see he's a different player when Kuz is in the lineup. At what point do you get where you consider putting him on the bench? I mean, because again, guys, development of young talent has to be a priority. If the young guys can't get better with him in the lineup, then what are we talking about? Like I said, thank you for your service in DC, but it is what it is, man. Like, we got to make changes because we are in an opportunity with this team. If you look at Black Koulibaly with him formally breaking out, or so it seemed, if you look at the 3 draft picks in this year's draft, looking forward real quick, Cooper Flagg, Ace Bailey, we have the opportunity to be a very young and dangerous team who could be ready to compete in 2 to 3 years. We have to develop these guys, man, right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not right now. And whoever's getting in the way of that, they need to be on the way out of town. I mean, enough's enough. Want to be here or not? Look, man, there's a lot of places I want to be and can't afford it. It is what it is. I mean, you've got to find ways to get these young guys involved, man, because if not, what are we doing? All right. See, anti-social extrovert says the first quarter was great. Then we looked dysfunctional. What's going on? I think it's the hero ball, man. The black hole is just the ISO ball. And, this team looks good when you see fluid ball movement, when this team runs in transition. This is a good young team. It's just when you look at players like Kyle Kuzma, and like I said, I'm not going to sit here and try to beat up on them, man. It's not what I'm trying to do. If I had my choice, I don't like coming at anybody, man. But I analyze. That's my job. So through my analyzation, he's inefficient. So it is what it is. That's the black hole it becomes when, like you said, Jordan Poole had a hot hand. So why not roll with that? If your shot's not dropping, find other ways to get involved. And he did to a certain degree, 9 rebounds, but drive to the basket more. And like I said, he said that he was a few layups away from shooting 50%. And I agree with you. It was 2-3 attempts away or 2-3 makes away from hitting 50%. Absolutely. But I mean, is that the goal here? The goal is to shoot 50%? Like the goal is to shoot at the highest percentage you can. Like, I don't understand this mentality with some of these players in the modern NBA, man. Like, you're okay with being mediocre? I don't understand that, man. Like, he can score. Look, Kyle Kuzma can use his size to attack the basket and be that scorer, man. But you've got to be efficient. If you want to be here, if you want to be part of this, you've got to be more efficient and get these young guys involved. Ricky Daniel says, can we trade Kuzma for a jar of dirt, please? Lord. I think we're going to get more than a jar of dirt. But, I mean, 2 first-round picks are out the window, in my opinion. I mean, it is what it is. Hopefully we can get a first-round pick. But at some point, you have to move him, man, because and I'm just going to end it there, guys. Like I said, I feel like I'm beating a dead horse. Let's see. Joshua Cotton, how you doing? Says, I didn't even watch the game. Was watching that fixed Tyson fight, but I already know Kuzma shot too much. Man, that fight was so abysmal. Like I said, for all you guys who watched the fight, that first fight, man, with the guy, the Indian boxer and the guy, the content guy from Brazil, that was a good fight. The dude from India has some fast hands on him, man. And then you look at the second fight between Barrios and what was his name, man? A couple of Mexican fighters, they were good. I mean, Barrios is a beast, man, tough cat, man. But I didn't, because of the issues with Netflix, I wasn't able to watch the female fight, and that was one good fight. I believe it ended in controversy, but I wasn't able to watch that, and then I was able to catch like the beginning of the Tyson fight. Then I missed it, and by that point, man, when waiting on the buffer, I just went to sleep. So I mean, hindsight, probably should just went in and did the recap. To be honest with you, let's see, Locked on Wiz Kids. Same here. I should have watched the game instead of the fights. Yeah, I'm with you. Join the club, brother. I'm with you. Joshua Cotton says, I'm going to watch it tonight, trying to see all 82 this year. Yeah, man. Definitely check it out. Locked on Wiz Kid says, I guess I didn't need to watch Kuz with 28 attempts. Crowding out the Wiz Kids, same old story. Yep, same old story, different day. And guys, there's a couple of things that really concern me. And I'm going to tell you why. Number one, it's a very real possibility that you're going to see Malcolm Brogdon walk for nothing. Right now, to me, he doesn't have trade value. Yes, he's here to be a mentor, and that's cool. But he has no value right now. He's hurt. And that's the biggest thing with Malcolm Brogdon. It's not talent. He can play ball. He's a good point guard. He can definitely play two guard when called upon, man. But, you can see a Tyus Jones scenario where he's going to walk for nothing because, let's be real, guys. Put your GM hat on. How many teams want to trade for an injury-prone player who makes $22.5 million a year? It's not going to happen, in my opinion. Like, you've got to show something. And right now, to me, he possibly could walk for nothing. Number two, Kyle Kuzma, the best chance to trade him was last year. Give him an opportunity. Asking him was the worst decision that the front office could have made. And like I said, I'm a big fan of Will Dawkins. I think Will Dawkins is a dog as an executive. Michael Winger knows ball. Both him and Will Dawkins know ball. Travis Schlenk knows ball. They know ball. We definitely have a really competent front office, and they're doing an immaculate job, in my opinion. Yeah, hiccups here and there, but overall, they have done a great job. But you got to move Kuz. And because you have to prioritize these young guys, man. And like I said, I'm not going to beat a dead horse, man. But I want to see these young guys eat because that's the whole point of a rebuild, man. I want to see some progress from these young guys. And you saw that. You started to see Bilal Coulibaly really take more of a responsible, more of a shoulder load of the offensive, responsibilities, man. So like I said, we'll see. Link, what's up? Says 11 for 28 is something I want to see. It's not something I want to see. I'm with you on that. I do not want to see that. It's inefficient and it's just hard to watch. The son of God, what's up? Says, I think B Cool offense goes down when Kuzma plays. Yep, I agree 100%. Because his usage rate goes down. You don't see that same player with Kuz in the lineup. And it is. Let's see. Antisocial extrovert says, I like Alex, but he doesn't play like a 7 foot tall. He can play bigger. I agree 100%. That's what I'm saying. I think I would love to see him develop some counter moves, some post moves, play with his back to the basket. He can't be that stretch guy all the time. 7'1", you got to attack the basket. You got to be very active in the paint. So I agree 100%. Locked on Law, what's up? How you doing tonight? Lose my blows. Oh, to the point. All right. Can't be mad at that. Let's see. Link, if I heard correctly, I think Chris Miller said Bub talked to CP3 after the Spurs game, and he had 9 assists. I see no coincidence. Not at all. I mean, you talk to a player like Chris Paul, something's going to rub off. That guy is called the point guard for a reason because he's one of the best point guards that ever played the game. I mean, he's gone to organizations where they weren't even meant to win, and they won. Looking at his days in OKC, I mean, he continues. He's that guy. When you think about the point guard, the floor general, you're going to see Chris Paul's name in the encyclopedia. Yeah, I like Magic. I like Isaiah Thomas, but in the modern day basketball, man, Chris Paul is the guy who definitely took the torch for both of them, man. And amongst other point guards, John Stockton, the same thing. Let's Steve Nash. The list goes on. He definitely is taking the mantle of the point guard at the NBA, man. So you don't talk to Chris Paul and don't learn anything. So I think that is definitely not a coincidence. See, as the tank rolls on, it is rolling, baby. You got it. And this is Red Wings 01, everybody. My bad, dog. See, Ricky Daniel says, why are we letting Kuzma destroy our youth movement? Good question. At what point does it have to stop? I mean, I'm with you on that, man. I am with you on that. See, the son of God says the commenter even made a joke. Kuz back to the bench with his 25 attempts. I mean, the writing's on the wall, man. I mean, it's not like we're all, it's not like analysts like myself are just going out our way to mess with Kuz. I mean, he's inefficient. I mean, he has to know that. There's no universe where you shoot 28 times and you think it's a good decision, especially if you want to be part of a rebuild. Like, it's got to come down a little bit, man. I mean, you got to find more attempts for Jordan Poole, more attempts for Bilal Coulibaly, a lot more attempts for these young guys, man. So I'm with you on that. Locked on Wiz Kids says, why isn't BK sitting them? You're right, B. Scott. The Wiz Kids are clicking. I think that's a good question, man. But here's the thing with the head coach, man. They have mandates for the front office. And like I said, I am a big fan of the front office. Will Dawkins is a smooth cat who knows basketball, straight up. But, last year when they gave him an option, that was the best chance you had of getting significant assets back in return for Kyle Kuzma. You're not going to get 2 first-round picks. It's not going to happen. Not with the inefficiency. Because you got to be able to be more of an efficient player. You have to shoot high percentage shots. There's no rush. There's no reason to play hero ball. This team ain't going nowhere. I mean, if drafting in the lottery was a championship, then we're probably going to win a chip this year. I mean, it is what it is. We're not going anywhere, so there's no reason to play hero ball or try to, it's just no reason. It has to be about development, man. So I'm with you on that. Virginia Slim, I like it, man. I like the name. Pool, Kispert, Val 1, Core 4, and majority of supporting cast want to play right away. The right way, my bad. You can tell by the consistency and fluidness on the court. Who's taking away from them and killing momentum? I agree with you 100%. He's killing the momentum. He is becoming too much iso ball and in a black hole with the ball. Look, I said it before. I said it in the last 2 videos. It's Jordan Poole's team. And it's time for Black Hole Body to play Robin. Enough's enough. Trade him. I mean, they're a good team when JP13 is running the show, man. Bub Carrington, you see the floor general potential. Keyshawn George's a dog, man. We got him at the 24th overall pick, y'all. I'm just saying, this ain't Ernie Grunfeld now. This ain't Tommy Shepard. We are cooking with grease. Let's see. Ricky Daniels says, those Hawks commenters were very disrespectful. I mean, what do you expect, man? I mean, I feel you, man, but it's hard to watch. It really is. It's hard to watch. I enjoy watching this team with young guys eating. I really do. They're fun to watch. They have this panache about them, man. They have this, they're dogs. I mean, they play hard. They play the right way. I mean, Kuz is killing. I mean, I'm just being real, man. And Kuz had a place in the team at one point. And like I said, he is a leader, all these different things that I've talked about all the time, off the court stuff. But the proof is in the pudding, man. He doesn't fit anymore. He does not fit, and he's a detriment to this young squad. And that's being what it is. If he's upset, it is what it is. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we've got to find ways to get these young guys going again. We saw them really growing, really playing better than we imagined them doing, man. And right now, his inefficiency is killing the team, in my opinion, man. I mean, if your ultimate excuse is, oh, man, I was only 2 layups away from shooting 50%. Really? All right. Locked on Wiz Kid says, truth. Hashtag truth, B. Scott. Appreciate you. Says Virginia Slim. And I love that name, man. Says, if Poole got benched last year and bounced back, Kuz will be benched eventually, too. Hopefully, he will bounce back in the near future. Just bounce back another time. I'm with you on that, man. At what point do you bench him and let these young guys eat? That's the question. At what point? I think that point is now. We've hit that point where it's time for the young guys to get going, man. Madrox was right. Was good. Says, said it a million times, leaning into the rebuild and dumped the entire team except for Bub and Bilal. Oh, what about Keyshawn and Alex Sarr? Good luck. They may not be your superstars, but just ask what would OKC do. I agree. It needs to be a youth movement. It needs to formally be a youth movement, man. So I'm with you on that. I agree 100%. Ricky Daniels says, Keyshawn is playing better than Kuzma. Amen. He is. Locked and Law says, the last poop I took is playing better than Luzma. Wow, man, you're very animated tonight. I like it, man. I like it. Let's see. A little too graphic, but it's all good. Virginia Slim again says, Bub brought the ball up court. Kuz set the pick and passed to Kuz, and the ball stopped moving. Yep. Bilal was in his corner pointing at Sarr because he was open. The youngins want to eat too. Kuz killed it. I agree 100%. I have nothing to add. That is a perfect assessment of what the problem is here in the nation's cap. Locked on WizKid says BK needs to make the change. Kuz isn't going to change. No, he is what he is at this point. He's in his prime. It's kind of like we talk about older people. You know what I mean? Once you hit your 50s, 60s, 70s, man, you are in your ways, man. You are who you are. You know what I mean? You're a little more opinionated, but you are who you are. And it's the same thing in the realm of the ages of 27 to 30 when you're in your prime as an NBA player. You are who you are. Now, you can change certain things, but he is who he is. Yes, he is a 20 points a night scorer. Absolutely. But the question is, how many attempts does it take to get there? And that's the problem. Locked on Wiz Kids says, here's the master key for development, B. Scott. Minutes for the Wiz Kids. Amen. I can't be mad at that. Let's see. Locked on Law says, for sale, one bum. Good Lord, man. You are a trip. Let's see. Anti-social extrovert says, JP looks to becoming an all-NBA talent level. Absolutely. He's young with at least a good 8 to 10 years left. We traded Wallace, Weber, Hamilton, Ben Wallace. Let's not do anything like that again. I agree. I think if you look at Jordan Poole, he's shown that he's ready to take that step. He's put the work in. The two factors outside of his play on the court, the two factors that kind of indicate to me that he's ready is, number one, taking criticism. Not every young player can do that. We've seen players in this league left and right fold under pressure. Ben Simmons. And, he's shown that he can take the smoke and keep working. And two, he put the work in. That's what you expect. To put the work in, to work the butt off, to become a better player over the offseason. That's the goal for every single player. It's like the goal every year, even though we all know it's unrealistic for most teams, the goal should be to win a championship. That should be your goal. That should be your first, second, and third goal. Now, we know we're not there yet, so we're about developing, but we're developing for that goal. Looking at, players. And I agree with Wallace. Man, yeah, Rasheed Wallace that hurt, man. Chris Webber hurt. They all hurt, man. The Rip Hamilton, man, was a good player in Detroit. I'm with you on that. So I totally agree. Let's see. The Southern guy says, don't be surprised if JP is traded as well. The draft is loaded. That's a good point. And that's what I'm saying, guys. It's two sides of a coin. You can see him being a long-term piece. But if you look at two guard, and especially if you look at the fact that Bub Carrington's playing point, and you look at Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey, even though Ace Bailey is more of a wing, but, Dylan Harper is a guy who's been linked in a lot of mock drafts to Washington. You add Dylan Harper to a backcourt Bub Carrington. So, like I said, I'm a big JP guy, but I'm also an unbiased analyst, man. Like, everybody's tradable. Everybody's tradable in this roster, man. So, it is what it is. Like I said, I think that either way, we'll be all right because this front office is cooking with oil, man. They've had few hiccups there and there, but overall, they're not the same regime under Tommy Shepard. It's not the same front office under Ernie Grunfeld. We're far from that. Ricky Daniels says, Poole, Bub, George, Bilal, Sarr. Yep, I'm with you on that. Also said everyone else on the bench. I agree 100%. All right, guys, I'm going to try to get everybody's comment. You guys know how I roll. So let's see. Virginia Slim says he's giving you a reason to do your job. It would be nice to not talk bad about him, but if he hero balling, there's nothing else to talk about. And that's what I'm saying, man. He doesn't make it hard to critique because the proof is in the pudding. The Lord blesses with a box score, man. Like, look at the box score. Like, 28 attempts is a lot. And let's call it like it is. He's a number one option here in DC. On a contender, he's a third or fourth option. We allow him the opportunity to be that guy. And you got to be more efficient. He's got to be more efficient. But the writing's on the wall, in my opinion, man. It's time to move on. My guy, Chocolate City Hoops, man. If you guys have not subscribed to Chocolate City Hoops here on YouTube, man, you're missing out. My brother here, man, is a great podcast, man. Has a lot of your well-known Wizards content creators on there, including me and the Real Oliver, Matt Materno, the list goes on, Damo, and the State of the Wizards, man. So definitely check my guy out here. He says, in time, these vets will be traded. It's all a part of the front office strategy. Amen, my brother. Amen. It's all about the strategy. Let's see. Locked on Law says 28 shot attempts in 27 minutes. Does Luzma think he's Carmelo Anthony? Look, man, he echoes a lot of Carmelo Anthony. Like I said, I ain't gonna take nothing away from Melo, man, but Melo was a similar player too. Efficiency was always a hit with him, man, and he loved to shoot the rock. And you can argue there's a big reason why the Knicks didn't make it. Didn't get to that point because of his usage rate. And so that's a good similarity in my opinion. The Senegal says the women that fought before Mike and Paul was better. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, gotcha, man. See, long day, y'all. Yeah. Getting back to the comment. The Son of God. Yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't even be able to watch the fight, man. But I heard it was a really good fight. It it really was controversial ending like the first time. But I really missing that fight, man, because that was one. And like I said, the two first undercard fights, man, were dope. The two Mexican fighters, man, they were good. They were good. I know one was Barrios, and you guys let me know what the name of the second one was, man, because they were both really good fighters. But then looking at the Brazilian guy and the Indian guy had some hands on. But like I said, the Tyson fight, he had no business being in the ring. And I think we all wanted to kind of reach back into our childhood for those of you who are around my age. But Mike shouldn't have been in there, man. He had no business being in there. It was hard to watch, guys. Chocolate City Hoop says the women's match was fire. Cool, man. I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna rewatch it, man, because like I said, definitely want to see it. The Son of God said facts. Them ladies was on it. Yep. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back and rewatch, man, because like Netflix, man. What did Netflix not expect that half the world was watching? I don't know. Let's see, Locked on Law. The youth are gonna tie Luzma up in the locker room and stuff him in the locker. Man, look. IDGAF says, I find it odd Poole goes for 42, then the next outing Kuzma shoots 28 balls. Kuzma needs to be removed immediately. He is also stunning Bilal's growth. I agree on all fronts. To me, I agree 100%. He is definitely stunning the growth of Be Cool. And Poole is his team, man. It's time for you to give him the keys and let him dictate things, man. Like I said, I think that he's played a high level basketball. And he's earned it. He put the time in. He put the time in. He worked his butt off to get better this year, man. Let's see, Crystal Scott. Great show. Appreciate you. IDGAF says Kuz is also hindering Keyshawn George. Oh, absolutely. And he also said that Dominique Wilkins never has anything positive to say about our hometown team. F him. Yeah, look, Atlanta likes to throw a little shade at us, man. It is what it is, man. Keep that energy when we get good. All right. Yeah, I'm with y'all, man. Don't be talking junk, man. If anybody talks junk about us, it's us. But he need to sit down somewhere, man, because keep that same energy when we start to turn this thing around. Let's see. The Son of God says that Russian combo guard, point guard at BYU might be the move next draft. Igor Demin, 6'8", 6'9", playmaker score. I agree. I've been looking at him a lot more. And it's him and it's that French guard, Traore. I believe I'm saying it correctly. Those are the two. But point guard, I don't know if we hit point guard. I think Bub could be the guy if they decide to move on Jordan Poole. If they don't, then I think that's a backcourt that I really like. But like I said, here's the thing. This is a very rich draft in shooting guards and wings. So, I mean, you try to go out there and get that two guard of the future. That could be the option, man. So I'm with you on that. Anthony Tony, how you doing tonight? Who's becoming a cancer to the team like Bertans and Montreal's Harold and Bill? Man, Lord, we have come a long way since Bertans, man. That dude, good Lord. I mean, that's probably the easiest money he ever made with that contract, man. Good Lord, indeed. Invalid says trade Kuz to the Clippers for Jordan Miller and a first. I like that. Jordan Miller can play. And the first, I don't say no to that. I like that. Locked on Law says the last player in the Wizards who jacked up this many bad shots was John Wall. John Wall, as much as I love that man, was not a shooter. But I think we all agree with that, man. He was not a shooter, man. So, he's definitely got to use his speed. And he hit jump shots when it counted, right? Looking at that game 6 over the Celtics. He hit it when it mattered, but overall, I think we all agree that he was not a shooter. Let's see. Son of God says facts. All right. Avery Leak, how you doing? Says unpopular take. JP gets traded before Kuzma. Man, hot take. Okay, I like it. I mean, I don't like it. I mean, if they get that, it is. I mean, I like that take, man. I think that's a take that is. I'm not gonna knock that take. I mean, I think that's a very realistic situation because I think Kuz has knocked off his trade value a lot, man, in my opinion. Kill Lopez, how you doing tonight? We are ahead of 14 before the end of the first quarter until the second unit comes in and becomes worse. JP tried to pass for a good shot, but none of his teammates can make shots. JP needs help from them. I agree. But I think he has better help when it's a young lineup. You see B. Cool really taking the next step to be that second scorer. The ball becomes a black hole. And, like I said, we got to put these guys in the best position to win. And Kuzma chucking up 28 shots a night is not it. And you got to, people got to step up and be the next guy. And Bilal was doing that. Alex Sarr, very encouraging result from last night, man. Definitely see him ramping it up offensively. But I agree 100%. Locked on Law says Poole is easier to trade. He produces. Absolutely. That is not a really unpopular take. I think, that's realistic. You could see them move on at some point because, look at the fact that they've been playing Bub Carrington at the 1, that tells you something. But Jordan Poole's a guy that, he got better. He's shown that he embraced the city a little bit. And like, here's the thing, it's the business. It's the business. There's been a lot of guys that I like their games in DC that are on other teams. I was a big Kelly Oubre fan. We traded him. The list goes on. John Wall, we all know about that. But there's been a lot of players come through DC that I like their games, but you get to a point where, it is what it is. It's the business, man. People are traded, released. Looking at Jordan Poole and Kyle Kuzma, how did they get here? They got traded. So, that's a very real possibility. But, I think that they do like his long-term fit, but that is a good take. Son of God says, I agree Poole may be playing his way out of DC. His value's up. Absolutely. He definitely has immense trade value, man, in my humble opinion. Chocolate City Hoop says, we got to get you back on the pod again, bro. Just don't bring that Commanders talk. All right, man, look. All right, now you my brother now, but look, y'all need to stop. That was a good win by the Eagles. I'll give you that. I'm gonna be quiet, but we're definitely heading in the right direction, man. Like I said, I'm a big Jalen Hurts guy, even though I'm a Commanders fan. I like Jalen Hurts, man. I like to see him, do successful, man. Like I said, there's players and other teams I do like, man, but that's the only Eagle I like, man. That's it. But definitely appreciate you, man. Hey, you call me and I'm there, man. Anytime. You already know. All right, let's see. All right, guys, we're gonna do we're about 39 minutes in. I'm gonna try to knock it out the rest of the comments. IDGAF says trade Poole for rookie guard. Will Dawkins and Michael Winger will be fired before we see the fruition of the picks guaranteed. I don't see that. I think that I think it's way too early to judge them, man. I think you got to wait till you see the finished product and then you can judge that. I think that if we can sit underneath Aaron Grunfeld for way too long, and if we can let Tommy Shepard jack things up the way he did, then I think they've earned the benefit of that, man. To give them the time to do their job. I mean, look, we know what it is. They got to get a lot of these veterans off the roster, and there are question marks. Looking at Malcolm Brogdon, could we see a Tyus Jones situation? I do believe so. Looking at Kyle Kuzma, did we reach the point where we're not going to get the same values last year? I think so. Then you got to have some hard decisions, man. But, I think that you definitely let them, produce a final product. It's way too early to judge them, man, because, like, let me tell you something, man. For somebody who's talked to Will Dawkins and Michael Winger, somebody who's had conversations with them, man, they know ball. They know they have a blueprint. They have a, they have a route they're willing to take, man. And it's, hiccups happen. Things, definitely happen and can derail that. But I think we're definitely in the right direction. We have the right front office to do that, man. Let's see. Virginia Slim says, all in all, the team as a whole has given us all the reason to watch and patiently wait for Bulletproof to wear out. Yeah, man. Bulletproof, boy. I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, I mean, look, this young squad, they're going to be good. We already see that. They're going to be good. When you add in the next 2 drafts, we're working, man. We're definitely on our way back to relevance, man. We're definitely there. Locked and Law says, what did the Hawks ever win that Wilkins is shooting his mouth off? Good question, man. It's easy to kick people while they're down, right? It's easy to make fun of the Wizards when they're trash, but keep that same energy when we're good. Keep that same energy. Big fan, Dominic Wilkins, but keep that same energy, man. Talk about my Wiz kids, man. You need to get it together. I see. Virginia Slim says, yo, B, do you think Bilal has the potential to be the greatest Wizard ever? Not greatest bullet, but Wiz. The efficiency, the demeanor, constant defense, and the homegrown Wizards product that they develop. I think that he's going to be an all-star level talent who's going to be part of the core. But best ever, we'll see, man, because Cooper Flag to me is that generational talent. Not that Bilal isn't, man, because Bilal is definitely, again, he is a guy who put in the work. He looks like an all-star. He looks like a star in the making. So I hope so. Like I said, I believe in these young guys, man. Well, I believe in everybody that has Washington on the front of their chest, man. Like I said, I don't like going after anybody, man. But, the proof is in the pudding. You have to criticize where it's due. And look, enough's enough. But Bilal, hopefully he is, because I think that he's a guy who's shown that he has the work ethic to get better each and every year, man. So good comment. Blimey 01 Maynard. I missed the Spurs recap. JP4 and burning 3 different Spurs with the same move 3 times in a row. But then those 2 careless turnovers. Yeah, I mean, at times he's had his turnover issues, but overall he's been a lot more efficient, and you see a totally different player, man. So I'm with you on that. Let's see. Locked and Law says Arenas was daggone good before he got injured. That's a high bar. Oh, yeah. People forget about Gilbert Arenas, man. We hear him kind of talk out the side of his neck on his podcast. He was a guy who was people forget. Look, for all you guys who were alive at the time, I mean, the guy was in top 5 in scoring in 2-3 years in the league at one point. This is a guy who he played at a high level. Gilbert Arenas, without the injury, he definitely earned that contract. I wouldn't have paid him with the injury. I know that he famously says that he got paid for what he did and not, I think it's the wrong approach. Pay a guy who's got knee surgery, no matter how much you like the guy. But he's a guy, he played at a high level, man. A lot of good basketball with him, Antoine Jameson, Karan Butler, Brendan Hayward. I'm with you on that. So, all right, guys, we got about 5 more, so we're going to knock it out real quick before we call it a night. Dr. Law also says Arenas was he was good before he got injured. There's 2 comments in a row. All right, let's see. Son of God says, I like Be Cool, but his SAR offense becomes just as good as his defense. He will be the face of the franchise. Man, look, I think we could have more than one face. Alex Sarr is a guy who could definitely be a co-face with Cooper Flag if Cooper Flag is indeed the guy we choose. I think the same thing with Ace Bailey, Dylan Harper, list goes on, but Bilal is definitely in the conversation. I think the biggest thing to really look at is we have high impact young players who are going to get better every year. And so we're heading in the right direction, man. Locked and Law says Arenas dropped 60 on Kobe's head. I remember that, man. Yeah, I mean, Arenas was my guy, man. My top 3 Wizards, man, all time. And the third one's subject to change at some point, but it's going to be Gilbert Arenas, John Wall, Bradley Beal. And I can see Bradley Beal possibly being kicked out of the top 3. Not that it's Bradley Beal, man. Love what he did here in DC, man. But one of these young guys, man, like I said, I went ahead and bought my first Bilal Coulibaly jersey, man. I got the new district City Edition jersey, the one from the same font as last year, but it's blue. So I got my first Be Cool, man. So, but I think Bilal's gonna be just fine, just fine. Let's see. The son of God says I like Be Cool, but same comment. My bad. All right, 2 more comments, guys. Madrox was right. You can get picks for Kuzma, Poole, Valanciunas, Sarr, Brogdon. Do it. I don't know about Sarr, man. I ain't letting Sarr. We just drafted the number 2 overall. You don't trade that guy. But I see where you're going with it. Appreciate you. And then the last one for the night. Ricky Daniels says, any player that brings a chip will be the best Wizard ever. That's a good point. Anybody that helps us win a championship, they are the best in my book, man. So I'm with you. So, all right, guys, again, appreciate y'all, man. Appreciate you guys rock with your boy on Saturday. Like I said, in hindsight, I probably should have did a recap last night because it was just, I mean, it's still good boxing. Just Tyson, it is what it is. So, all right, guys, again, appreciate you guys rock with your boy tonight. Now, we will be going live the next 2 days because I'm going to pop up the schedule real quick, and I think it's got me another comment, so you guys know how I do. So let me pull up the schedule real quick because tomorrow we do play at home against the Detroit Pistons, and then we turn around Monday night at Madison Square Garden against the New York Knicks, and that's a 7:30 game. So, again, guys, get used to seeing my face, man, because the next 2 nights we're going to go live. So, we got a few more comments. Hold on. See. Locked on Law says could have been Durant, but he's scared to play in DC. Yeah. Nomadic Brian says go Wizards. Yes, sir. And then the Son of God says I agree, but being at his height and moving fluid, guarding all positions, and can maybe be great offensively is a jump. I agree 100%. All right, everybody. Again, appreciate y'all, man. Rock with your boy on a Saturday night. I know, you guys could have had other things to do, but you took time out of your day to roll with your boy here tonight, man. So again, I will see you guys tomorrow night. Hail to the Wizards and peace.